Today's Mass Readings. August 5, 2019. Monday. 18th week. First reading. Numbers chapter 11 verse 4 to 15. A rebellion during the Exodus from Egypt. The rabble among the Israelites had a strong craving. And they also wept again, and said, "If only we had meat to eat. Remember the fish used to eat in Egypt for nothing. Cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic. But now our strength is dried up. They're nothing at all." This manna, look at, was like coriander seed, its color of gum resin. People went around, gathered it, ground it mills or beat mortars, then boiled pots, made cakes in it, taste baked with oil. When dew fell on camp night, would fall it. Moses heard the people weeping throughout their families, all at the entrances of their tents. Then the Lord became very angry, and Moses was displeased. So Moses said to the Lord, "Why have you treated your servant so badly? Why have I not found favor in your sight, that you laid the burden of all this people on me? Did I conceive all this people? Did I give birth to them, that you should say to me, 'Carry them in your bosom,' as a nurse carries a sucking child, to the land that you promised on oath to their ancestors? Where am I to get meat to give to all this people? For they come weeping to me and say, 'Give us meat to eat.' I am not able to carry all this people alone, for they are too heavy for me. If this is the way you are going to treat me, put me to death at once, if I have found favor in your sight, and do not let me see such misery as this." Responsorial Psalm. Psalm chapter 80 verse 12 to 17. Response. Sing with joy to God our help. My people did not heed my voice, and Israel would not obey. So I left them in their stubbornness of heart, to follow their own designs. Response. Sing with joy to God our help. Oh, that my people would heed me, that Israel would walk in my ways. At once I would subdue their foes, turn my hand against their enemies. Response. Sing with joy to God our help. The Lord's enemies would cringe at their feet, and their subjection would last forever. But Israel I would feed with finest wheat, and fill them with honey from the rock. Response. Sing with joy to God our help. Gospel reading. Matthew chapter 14 verse 13 to 21. Out of compassion, Jesus cures the sick and multiplies food in a deserted place. When Jesus heard the news of John the Baptist's death, he withdrew from there in a boat to a deserted place by himself. But when the crowds heard it, they followed him on foot from the towns. When he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion for them and cured their sick. When it was evening, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a deserted place, and the hour is now late. Send the crowds away so that they may go into the villages and buy food for themselves." Jesus said to them, "They need not go away. You give them something to eat." They replied, "We have nothing here but 5 loaves and 2 fish." And he said, Bring them here to me." Then he ordered the crowds to sit down on the grass. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, he looked up to heaven, and blessed and broke the loaves, and gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the crowds. And all ate and were filled. And they took up what was left over of the broken pieces, 12 baskets full. And those who ate were about 5,000 men, besides women and children.